Aloha, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I know quite a few of you are on lockdown right now, and depending on where you live and what the conditions are in that state, and even what the laws are, or even what country. We have a lot of people that are in other countries as well. I know many of you are on lockdown, and first of all, I want to say this with just from my heart, with sincerity, for any of you who are being affected by the coronavirus, by what's going on right now. Our heart at the Empowerment Partnership, all of us, I did a team meeting yesterday. We all care about you. Our heart goes out to you, and I don't mean affected as in you have the coronavirus. I mean, we're all being affected by this. We are all being affected by this in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's financially, whether that is personally, whether it is by the fact that you are having to navigate new behaviors that you're not used to. I'm here in Phoenix. I practice what I teach. I'm here in Phoenix, and we have an event that's going to be beginning, a small event, so we're within the guidelines of CDC and Arizona rules and whatnot. And I went to Whole Foods yesterday, and they got these lines on the ground, right? They got these lines on the ground, and that's how far away you have to stand from the checkout counter. And even going in, they were regulating how many people can actually go in. And look, my reaction was I had a smile on my face, right? I'm sitting there going, cool, I get to be outside, I get to be in nature. I'm from Hawaii, but if you look at my skin color, you really can't tell. I don't get enough sun, so I'm like, okay, I have an option right now. I have an option, either to make this negative and get pissed off, or to sit here and find something positive, to remain centered, to remain in balance. And here's the deal. I mean, that's what this whole Facebook Live is about. I don't do as many Facebook Lives, but considering that I don't have a lot going on, I figured I might as well throw a few extra ones out there. So let's talk about this, especially right now. And if you're watching this in the future and everything's gone back to quote unquote normal, and it's all good, I think the concepts still are relevant, because the person that was in line in front of us going into Whole Foods, she didn't completely lose it, but she began to question, how long am I going to be out here? How long do I have to wait? How many people are inside? And you could just tell the person that was at the door was just kind of looking at her like, there's nothing I can do. This is a regulation. There's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that I can say. And you all of a sudden, if you're present enough, if you're aware enough, if you're awake enough, you sit there and you go, man, here's two different realities. Actually, three different realities playing out. The lady that works at the Whole Foods, the lady in front of me, and me. And I'm sitting there going, okay, here's three different realities. And which one do I want to live in? Which one? You have a choice. Which one do I want to live in right now? I think the other thing that's coming up for some people, and I mean to say this in the nicest way possible, getting to know your partner and your kids and your family members, and it's not a holiday, so you don't know when it's going to end. I hope you guys laugh at that one. Aloha to all of you, who are saying aloha from San Diego. Arjul, I saw that. Annette, aloha to everyone. Just, I want you to stop and think about this for a moment. It's kind of funny, not funny. It's one of the things that my client said to me is that they're not used to having to be in the same environment with this person for that amount of time. All of a sudden, you're going from a world of, I only see this guy, I only see this woman for 3 hours a day, and I love her. I love him. She's so awesome. And now I'm stuck in a box with this person. And what the hell do I do? Because I didn't realize that's what they do during lunch, because I'm not usually with them during lunch. And I can't believe that's how they eat. And they're just talking all the time. And I'm just kind of sitting here laughing, going, you have an opportunity to get to know your partner on a whole nother level. Carmen, thank you. Carmen's like, that's funny, right? It's all of a sudden, Mitra, good for you, out in the sun, watching the butterflies play. All of a sudden you're sitting here going, I need to navigate something new now. I need to navigate being with my kids. My son and my daughter, they're doing online schooling, and Skylar does not like it. And I'm talking to her about how do you remain centered and how do you remain calm during this time? How do you remain calm? Being around family members 24/7 that you're not used to being around. How do you navigate going to school in a way that you've never gone before? Or work, those of us working. It's like all of a sudden you're sitting here and you're off center. So let's first of all talk about why is it so important to be centered and balanced during these times? Well, if we can do it now, we're gonna be able to do it in the future with anything. As people go through this, people that have gone through this experience, who have lived through it and are old enough to remember, are gonna be like, man, I survived that in 2020. I can survive anything. That's nothing. The closest thing that I can even think of is when 2008, the stock market crashed, it had dropped to about half, and we were still running seminars and trainings. And you know what? I'm gonna say this straight up. I found it offensive. People that are in the seminar and training business, people that are in personal growth, would look out at the audience and say, this is all just in your head. I'm sorry, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm not supposed to swear on Facebook. You're not supposed to swear on Facebook. How do I do that? I talk for more than 15 minutes. No swearing. But anyway, that's bullshit, right? It's like you can't tell someone the stock market crash is in their head. You can't tell someone that this environment that we have going on out here is in your head. It's not. This is real. People are on lockdown. States are on lockdown. The Canadian border is shut down. This is real. This is legit. Never mind. Someone tells you, someone does a Facebook post or a blog or something that says, oh, it's all in your head. No, it's not. Your reaction is in your head. How you deal with it is in your head. And that's why you got to learn how to remain calm, centered, and balanced. Because some people love this. There are some people out there that absolutely love it. Homebodies, people who just want to sit on the couch all day and just binge watch Netflix, get paid to go to work and not have to actually leave the house. And then there are some people that are going stir crazy, that need nature and adventure and whatnot, and everything in between. The people that just love this, there's a possibility of becoming complacent, becoming lazy, becoming stuck on the couch. The people that need adventure, there's a possibility of popping. Shit, for all of us, there's a possibility of popping. For all of us, there's that possibility that we might just go, what the hell is going on? And the reason why it's so important to remain centered and balanced is because for many of you, especially if you're following me on Facebook, that means you're into personal growth. You're into NLP or Huna. Like me, going serious for just a moment, a lot of people look to me for, how can you help me navigate this? I did a team meeting yesterday with the entire company to let them know the company's fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to survive. How can we help you? How can we help you, a part of our team, to make sure that you get through this? Some of the people that we have are employees and they're going to get a check no matter what. Some, they work based on whether or not we have an event, and we don't have any events. Didn't have any events after Huna. Probably not going to have any events here in April until the very end of it on April 30th. How can we help you? They needed to hear that. Whether or not they're intentionally doing it, as a business owner, people are going to be lean on me. As a kid, as my kids, they're going to lean on me. My clients, they're going to lean on me. Students, and if you're like me, people are leaning on you. And you got to remain calm, centered, and balanced. Because if you freak out, they're going to freak out. And so the first thing you need to do is, someone already posted, practicing the law of requisite variety. The law of requisite variety, meaning just let's all go into this situation knowing we need to be flexible right now. If you're going to Whole Foods, if you're going to Vaughn's, if you're going to Safeway or Foodland or KTA, if you're stuck in Kona, which I was stuck in Kona for a while, missing KTA right now. If you are in a situation where all of a sudden you don't have as many options, just go into it facing it. Just go into it allo. Allo is to face. Allo means to face something. Just go into it facing it, because you know that you're going to have to practice flexibility. Then you got to ask yourself, what can I do to remain centered? You need to learn how to become aware of your patterns. The patterns that you run are really, really important. Like, how do you spin out? How do you get spun out? One of the easiest ways to get spun out is to assign a meaning to something. To assign a meaning to something that isn't really there. What does this thing, this situation mean? Now, when you choose the positive versus the negative, you're choosing to go down the path of making a meaning out of something and finding the silver lining, being able to reframe it. When you choose to go down the meaning-making path of it being negative, meaning you say it's happening this way because of the political administration that's in power, because of the people that created the virus or the people that sparked the whole thing, all of a sudden you're going down this path where you're going to be thrown off balance, where you're going to be thrown off center. So the first thing is you need to be really, really clear on what meaning do you assign it. Teresa, you're right. I mean, and on the last Facebook Live that I did, we gave away recordings of things to help you let go of fear, to help you let go of anxiety. So I'm presupposing for a moment you guys watched that Facebook, that you've done the Empowering Your Life release work, that you've done the anxiety model, that your fear is reduced. Now we got to work with the mind, right? We got to work with how do you assign a meaning to what's going on out there. So for example, in Whole Foods line yesterday, do I assign a meaning that this is stupid, it's silly, the people in front of me are going to get all the meat and I'm not going to get any? Or do I assign a meaning to it going, cool, I get to go in there and learn how to have a new recipe for eating something I haven't eaten for a while, or I get to be in the sun for a little bit and connect with the nature, and how cool, because that might be restricted in a week or two. And you avoid going down the negative path and you go, okay, what could be a positive meaning out of this? To remain centered and balanced, I think, and I'm going to say this being on Facebook, I think you ought to make sure that you're spending time with the people that are around you and doing something that is going to help to ground you. Centered and balanced means, from an energetic perspective, grounding. So here's how you ground. You put both feet on the earth, stand your feet about shoulder width apart. You send two connections, like energetic connections, down into the earth, and you connect with the earth element. Those of you who've done Huna with me, this is just how you connect with Honua, the earth element. Now what you do is you bring, just in your mind, you bring that energy up, all the way up to your root chakra, right at the base of your pelvic bone. Centered and balanced means that you're grounded. How do you ground? Energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You ground in 4 different ways. Energetically, you imagine 2 connections going into the earth and you draw up the earth element. You draw it up to the top of your legs. The way you ground mentally is you choose the positive over the negative. You calm your thoughts down and choose the positive over the negative. The way you ground emotionally is you let go of your fear. You let go of your anxiety. And you focus on what is the calmness within me, or what is the positive emotion that I can have. And then from a physical perspective, you do your deep breathing. You do your hakalau, peripheral vision. I can see my fingers over here even though I'm looking at you. When you're in hakalau, you remain centered. It's what I said to my client. My client, when I wrapped up my coaching call this morning with her, she said to me, what are you doing? And I'm not just talking about physical. She said, what are you doing spiritually, mentally? That's putting mental and emotional together. It's a new word. We no longer are mental or emotional. We're emental. Anyway, what are you doing? She said, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. What are you doing on all 4 levels? And I said, let's start energetically. I'm grounding regularly. I'm checking in to make sure that I am grounded and that I am in hakalau, because there are people around me who are freaking out and I need to remain calm. So how do I remain calm? Grounding and hakalau. That's energy. I also, because I teach Huna, and if you're in level 2 of Huna or above, bubble yourself up with ka'ahu makali'i. You have no idea what I just said. It's a Hawaiian word. It's a symbol. If you've never done any Huna with me, just imagine a bubble of light around you. Just imagine a bubble of light around you so that energetically you're just holding a space. Energy and environment affect your cells first and foremost. You might as well be in a bubble of light rather than a bubble of whatever the opposite of light is. So you want to be in a bubble of light. Now, mentally, I said to her, I'm reframing. I'm reframing, I'm looking for the positive, I'm practicing gratitude, and I'm doing it a lot. I got to do the same thing you guys are doing. We are living in a world that is vastly different than how it was just a month and a half ago. So I'm reframing, I'm keeping my mind focused on the positive. Emotionally, practicing the anxiety model, letting go of any negative emotions that come up. And also, what can I do to increase my happiness? What can I just straight up do to be a little bit happier at the end of the day, to be a little bit happier with myself and the people that I'm around? And then physically, yeah, I'm taking precautions, I said to her. I said, I'm taking precautions I've never taken before. I have hand sanitizer that I carry with me. Got gloves. I went and got a haircut yesterday. Places to get haircuts are still open here in Phoenix. And thank God, I was starting to look shaggy. And the guy put a mask on me. I'm just like, all right, cool, put a mask on me. Everything's good. And it doesn't matter what I've read about masks, whether they're effective or not. You're taking all of these precautions. And these precautions allow you to be then physically protected as well. I'm doing it from a positive, though. I'm doing it from a positive perspective, not a fear-based perspective. I'm sitting here going, you know what? If I'm healthy and I'm cautious of what I do, including touching my face, then I'm going to be okay. One of my students, his friend works at the CDC, and he was like, the chances of you guys contracting this, if you're healthy, as long as you avoid certain things, we're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. We're going to absolutely get through this and be good. And here's one of the things that came up, and I thought about this on my marketing meeting yesterday with Janice and Jessica. There's an NLP technique to avoid touching your face. It's called a swish pattern. It's called a swish pattern. My daughter used it to stop biting her nails. Any of you who have done NLP, do a swish pattern on touching your face. One of the number one ways for you to contract this virus is for you to take your hands and put it in your mouth. You want to avoid doing that. So a swish pattern, and we're going to give you the swish pattern for free. All the stuff that we talked about last week, the anxiety model, releasing fear using MER, Ho'oponopono, meditations and whatnot. We're also throwing in there now the swish pattern, because I'm sitting here going, man, if people would just wash their hands and avoid touching their face, they are good to go. And so here's what I want you to do. After this, on our app or on our online learning platform, go find the swish pattern and watch it so you can remember what that was all about. Watch the demo of it. So with a woman named Amanda, it was recorded in Los Angeles a few years back. She was the one that would grind her teeth at night. It was a great demo, amazing segment. And you guys are going to get to listen to that, watch it, and then do the swish pattern. Now, if my daughter was watching and she was able to give an amen on this one, she did it one time. She used to bite her nails and she no longer bites her nails. Stop biting her nails. And as a hula dancer, it's so important to have pretty hands. She knows this stuff works. I mean, she did it when she was 11. If an 11-year-old can do it, heck, you guys can do it too. Swish pattern works. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that energetically you're handling things, mentally you're handling things, emotionally and physically, doing all the things that you need to do on all 4 levels in order to make sure that you are maintaining your centered and balanced state. Okay? Awesome. I know I usually only go about 15 minutes, but I got so much to say. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of Facebook Lives because, well, we don't have much more to do. So hit us up with your questions. Post on our alumni group. If you're an alumni, ask whatever questions. We want to be here to support you. We want to be here to support you. So post your questions. Ask them, because I'll do Facebook Lives. I'm like, yeah, here's how to handle this. Give me some big topics to deal with. And what I want you to do is I want you to absolutely remember that at the end of the day, you have a choice. You have a choice what path you get to go down, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And because you have that choice, you're empowered. You truly are empowered, and you get to decide which path you're going to go down. And so make that choice, and here's what I want you all to do. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar, on the next Facebook Live. Okay? Aloha, ahui ho.